What's good, y'all? It's your boy Church Boy B back with another video. Hope you're having a blessed day. Today I'm trying to get this cam. There you go. Today got my Power Ranger shirt, Red Ranger, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. But today we about to do watch this documentary about H.b.o. family / jam. And like I said, I'm finna do documentaries. So I'm finna work my way up from the small length of time all the way up to the long length of time. So hope you're having a blessed day. Y'all hear people in the background, don't mind that. I'm at a church recording before we start our Bible study. So the grind don't stop. So let's get into it. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the documentaries. Start with this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section of this documentary. So let's get into it. Let's get it. I say H.b.o. family / jam. I think I said that.
Well, it isn't Valentine's Day yet. But what really doesn't go together but works together in a strange way? Jam and Mac, from H.b.o. Family. A dual block dedicated to educational shows that some of us who had the H.b.o. bundle on Comcast, DirecTV, or Dish at the time were able to watch. However, there were many problems with these blocks leading up to its demise. Ultimately, the blocks themselves became lost media. So how did this even happen? H.b.o. Family would launch as a multiple niche block on December 1st of 1996, after H.b.o. decided it would be lucrative to have a kids channel to not overfill its main block. Also, at the time, real sex was a thing. Not what I would call family friendly. I mean, it could be worse. It could be big love. H.b.o. Family at the time was only showing family-oriented movies until the network moved into the direction of having shows play on the block and dedicate the rest of the block to movies. Jam would launch April 26 of 2001 as a competitor to Nick Jr., Noggin, and Playhouse Disney. The mascot to promote Jam was
and that's when I started watching Jam, H.b.o. Family and Jam, called Bar 97. And they said, I think 96 or 98 when they started everything. I had Dish at a point in time. I had Comcast at a point in time. I had DirecTV at a point in time. So I seen Jam, I think it was 2001 that I can remember watching Jam. Because they had some fire shows. So just putting that out there.
Mascot named Jammy, a small blob of jam that would introduce shows and interstitials. Albeit very late in the preschool race, shows that predate Jam were as follows. A Little Curious was predated before Jam was a block. Fun fact, the theme song was sung by the New York a cappella group The Manhattan Transfer. The animation produced by Curious Pictures was made in 3 styles: 2D, 3D, and claymation animation. The show would focus on small topics regarding a specific verb. The show was released on February 1st of 1999 and was responsible for the upbringing of H.b.o. Family. This miniseries was recorded at Upper Nyack Elementary School in Upper Nyack, New York. The show itself was an unscripted day in the life of the kindergarten class. The show would follow the kids going into the 1st grade in 13 episodes. H.b.o.'s storybook musicals was made after Dr. DeSoto, a children's book by William Steig, was nominated for an Academy Award for animated shorts. Michael Sporn would go forward to make more animated musicals for H.b.o. Small history lesson on Michael. Michael Sporn would study at the New York Institute of Technology. He would serve in the Navy for 5 years and create animation by mail. After being honorably discharged, he would travel to London to work for Richard Williams and collaborate with John Hubley. After some time, would travel back to New York to create his animation animation studio, Michael Sporn Animation. He would work on shorts for H.b.o, Sesame Workshop, WBGH, Scholastic, Random House, and Goodyear. During his time on H.b.o in the 80s, worked on Lyle Lyle Crocodile the Musical, which was released on November 18th of 1987. As this became a success on the channel, other animations were created as individual anthology shows with different animators. Later would be named H.b.o Storybook Musicals, with the story of the Dancing Frog, Early Birthday, and the Red Shoes in the early 90s. Later on, other animation companies would add to the series, such as H.b.o Incorporated with Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, Random House with the Country Mouse and the City Mouse, A Christmas Tale, as well as Sonar making various episodes from 1987 to 1993. The series was a musical anthology series made by Amy Schatz. She was an H.b.o veteran who was notable for her work on We Are the Dream, The Kids of the Oakland MLK Oratorical Fest, Good Night Moon and Other Sleepy Time Tales, and The Song of Parkland. The series focused on classical music, art, dance, and poetry, and inspired kids to keep the art style alive. The show would run for 12 years. Jam would be the daytime block for preschool viewers, while the older kids would get an after-school block called Magnet. Fun fact, the block shorts would be created by Cup of Coffee Studios. This particular block would have its own website, hbomagnet.com, well, it's its own flash game called Magnet Dude. Basically, it was like sparktop.org, if you remember that website.
School can be tough, but it's better now.
Cause when school's out, we're logging on.
Logging on to SparkTop to get our spark on.
Think it my way, that's what it's about.
SparkTop's a place to just chill out.
This would be the home for shows such as The Adventures of Tintin, 30 by 30 Kid Flicks, The Worst Witch, Dear America, What Matters, and The Animated Tales of the World, as well as the main H.b.o original series.
Well, now that we got your attention.
Crashbox was made for Magnet by Cup of Coffee Studios. Released on February 1st of 1999, it was a show dedicated to teaching kids math, reading, and critical thinking skills in the form of game shows. Each game was loaded on a screen with cartridges to load each game. The name of the games were Sketchpad, Distraction News, Haunted House Party, Here We Are, Psychomath, Think Tank, Lens, McCracken, Word Shake, Revolting Slob, Mugshots, Captain Bones, Radio Scramble, Eddie Bull, 10 Seconds, Hoop or Scoop, and Riddle Snake. The series would last up until the 2000s and would even have its own games to play on the H.b.o family website.
So sticky and wiggly and goopy and jiggly. Come out and play.
Jam was also home to shows such as El Perro y Gato, Rainbow Fish, The Little Lulu Show, Stuart Little, The Never-Ending Story, The Adventures of Paddington Bear, and I Spy. Magnet by 2005 would be discontinued as the views for the block were low. Also, this was a time in the 2000s where helicopter parents were against after-school blocks for kids being aired at a time when kids were supposed to be working on homework. Albeit due to limited shows, Magnet would also be considered lost media. Jam would take Magnet's lineup and ultimately air Crashbox as its own show after 2005. Jam would have a good run for the next few years, while H.b.o family would be moving in a different direction. Because no new programming was made, it became stagnant, while in addition, the shows were changing with the kids. There was only reruns to be played from then on. Sesame Workshop by 2015 would then get into a partnership with H.b.o to air old and new episodes of Sesame Street, would later add shows such as Pinky Dinky Doo and The Electric Company. In 2016, Sesame Workshop would rebrand Jam to H.b.o Kids. By then, only reruns of Sesame Street and other Sesame Workshop shows were taking over the block, leaving no room or interest to make new H.b.o originals for kids at all. While Sesame Street would move from PBS to HBO to then HBO Max, H.b.o Kids would eventually close down on February 29th of 2024. It's a no-brainer why Jam and Magnet shut down and eventually are considered lost media. Shows that predated the blocks didn't really need to be controlled by a schedule or a preschool brand. On top of that, these shows were old and limited, while HBO originals didn't last more than 2 seasons. There was no emphasis on expanding on the already locked down market of preschool shows, while in addition, Magnet only had Crashbox until the 2000s to keep it going. Because HBO Family was a subscription service, there was Playhouse Disney, Nick Jr., and Noggin that would dominate it, being a paid service already. Not saying A Little Curious and Crashbox were not memorable, successful, but Jammin' Magnet needed more shows to compete and it just couldn't do so, only to be given over to Sesame Workshop and forgotten. In retrospect, to those who remember Jammin' Magnet had to...
Man, thinking about it, it do make sense because when I was watching H.b.o Family and Jam, cause Jam became on basic cable, basic was it basic cable or on antenna? Dean. But it's storming outside. But Jam will come on the antenna or on basic cable. And I remember watching it, and they did do a lot of reruns of shows. And then after that, I ain't see them no more. So it do make sense that because they had lack of shows that they stopped running them and discontinued. But it do play a part because, man, Disney had they cartoons for the children. Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and it was like so many cartoons out at that time. Like it was oversaturated with cartoons, and especially on Saturdays when they had Saturday cartoons. So it was kind of in a already compact, busy field of cartoons. So if you don't got like a steady flow of cartoons going, your channel ain't gonna survive. So that do make sense. But I hope I enjoy H.b.o Family / Jam. I remember them shows back in the day. That was nostalgic. I mean, it was good. So like I say, more documentaries, more history coming. History is documentary, so because documenting and stuff like that. So y'all just continue to hit the like button, share, subscribe, comment what documentary, if you have a documentary in mind, put it in the comment section. I'll go look it up and see if I can react to it or whatnot. But more documentaries. Now, if I put documentary or if I put history, they're the same thing. So if you see H.b.o Family / Jam history, or you see H.b.o Family / Jam documentary, it's the same thing. So I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. So I enjoyed it. So more coming, and I'm gonna have this I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna have his channel in the description box because he have a lot of great short documentaries, not short, small, lengthy documentaries. So we're gonna start off with a few of them, then we're gonna work our way up. So I hope y'all enjoy it. God love you, I love you, and until next time, we out. Peace.